Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources. Daily FX Market News.
March 7, 3:39 America New York, crude oil spikes to a near 14-year high on Russian supply fears. Brent oil spiked to around $137 per BBL. In early trade before settling back to around $128 per BBL. On ongoing supply fears as the U.S. threatens to ban Russian oil imports.
Wall Street Journal Markets.
March 7, 0:45 America New York, global markets fall after oil hits $130 a barrel. U.S. stock futures and global equity indexes dropped after Russian forces intensified strikes across Ukraine and as the threat of a potential ban on imports of Russian oil helped spur a surge in energy prices.
Global economy.
March 7, 0:35 America New York, FirstFT. Crude oil jumps over potential U.S. ban on Russian oil imports. Plus, Unilever to set new healthy food targets and why the UK stock market is so cheap.
Armstrong Economics.
March 7, 008 America New York. Russia disconnecting the internet to prevent U.S. cyber attacks. While Cogent Communications, a major internet backbone provider that routes data across intercontinental connections, cut ties with Russian customers. It cited sanctions over the invasion of Ukraine.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
March 6, 2107 America New York, Oasis, Whiting near all-stock merger. The all-stock tie-up between the rival North Dakota shale drillers could be unveiled early this week. The companies combined would be worth roughly $6 billion.
BBC News Business.
March 6, 2037 America New York, Ukraine conflict. Oil price soars to highest level since 2008. Consumers are feeling the impact of higher energy costs as fuel prices and household bills jump.
Global economy.
March 6, 2017 America New York, Ukraine war latest, U.S. says Russian missile launches more frequent. Today's main developments, PwC and KPMG cut ties with Russian units, oil prices hit highest level in nearly 14 years, UK to pledge an extra $100 MN in aid to Ukraine.
Daily FX Market News.
March 6, 2000 America New York, crude oil prices hit 14-year high on new Russia sanctions risk. Crude oil prices roared higher at the weekly trading open as the deepening crisis in Ukraine fuels bets on still harsher Western sanctions against Russia.
Wall Street Journal Markets.
March 6, 1944 America New York, Oasis, Whiting near all-stock merger. The all-stock tie-up between the rival North Dakota shale drillers could be unveiled early this week. The companies combined would be worth roughly $6 billion.
BBC News Business.
March 6, 1914 America New York, Ukraine war catastrophic for global food. One of the world's biggest fertilizer firms says the conflict could deliver a shock to food supplies.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
March 6, 1906 America New York, Chewy co-founder Ryan Cohen takes large stake in Bed Bath & Beyond. The billionaire investor urges the housewares retailer to consider a sale or separation of Bye Bye Baby and to simplify its turnaround plan.
The Library of Economics and Liberty.
March 6, 1804 America New York, about those fossil fuel subsidies. Is failure to tax a subsidy? In a comment on Brian Kaplan's recent blog post titled, I Win My Climate Shock Bet, November 9, 2021, Better Daniel Reeves writes.
New York Times Business.
March 6, 1709 America New York, gas prices in U.S. climb above $4 a gallon. The national average price on Sunday was $4.009 a gallon, approaching a record set in 2008. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has set off intense volatility in the oil and natural gas markets.
Armstrong Economics.
March 6, 1655 America New York, private blog, Russia and the Markets. Private blog, Russia and AMP. The Markets private blog posts are exclusively available to Socrates subscribers. To sign up for Socrates or to learn more, please visit ask-socrates.com.
Marginal Revolution.
March 6, 1414 America New York, who is working on creative solutions to limit nuclear war risk. I don't mean on the macro foreign policy side, but more the microelements. For instance, how do we make sure all countries with nuclear weapons have accurate early warning systems, so they do not confuse flocks of birds with incoming missiles?